Coming up on this week's edition of the Trojan Football Report, we'll talk with Troy head coach Larry Blakeney and review the Trojans' loss to Abilene Christian. We'll go one-on-one with sophomore running back Brandon Burks. We'll check in with cornerbacks coach Al Pogue, and we'll look ahead towards the Trojans matchup this weekend at the University of Georgia. All that and more coming up on the Trojan Football Report. Welcome into the Trojan Football Report. I'm Larry McKnight with head coach Larry Blakeney of the Troy Trojans. 38-35, Troy falls at home against Abilene Christian. And coach, it was not a happy time on Saturday.
Oh, it sure wasn't. It's a, tough story to tell, story for Trojans to deal with. And I had my admonitions about this game. A AA team, one AA team, one had just moved up, one had recruited by the Division II rules, had a few transfers, had some really good-looking players on TV when I saw them play Georgia State and lose by 1 point, and then on tape after we got the second game against Northern Arizona. And well coached, they know exactly what they want to do. They are a little unique offensively, a lot of clusters and tight sets, and hitting people on the short ball. And then they got us on the little stalk and go, which I think it was a little more involved than a stalk and go. But the guy's wide open on our corner, and they play fake and come out and throw it up. And so there's some really good strategy by them, and I thought we responded and played pretty well against them in some places, some areas, but it's still a 3-point loss.
You have been steadfast all season long through some adversity in the early part of the season to make sure that people understand that you're not posting excuses, you're not looking for rationalizations about the whole thing, but there was a weather delay at the beginning. It was an odd thing to try to get ready for.
Yeah, we actually had 2 weather delays, but both teams had to deal with that, and I don't ever count that up. We've won a bunch of games, not a bunch of games, but in comparison to ones we've lost in weather delays, we've won more. And I'm trying to make excuses, but I don't think that's one of them. And we just got beat by a very good, well-coached team, and if you went position by position and looked at the talent, I think that their talent would at least have equaled ours, and if not exceeded ours in all those positions that count up front on offense, up front on defense. Really some good football players.
Well, as you look at the highlights, bear in mind there was a delay. The fans were herded out and then brought back in for the kickoff, which turned out to be an hour late. We'll let you take a look as we visit our first half highlights.
Now McKenzie, plenty of time, over the middle, touchdown. See if he looks that way. Silvers dumps it off, Brandon Burks. Midfield, 40, 30, down the sidelines and knocked out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Chandler Worthy split out to the right. They fake it to him. Now Brandon Silvers dives for the goal line, and he is in for the touchdown. Silvers, there you go. First down and more. Chandler Worthy, 15-yard line. He is the running back right next to Silvers. Silvers takes it himself, and he'll do the honors. Touchdown, Trojans. Brandon Burks gets his hands on the football. Spins off a tackle and scores. First down and 10 now from the 25. Trojans back to work as Brandon Silvers on the option. Makes a cut outside, and that's a nice play. Out to the 43, 35, moving left to right. Parker McKenzie, he is sacked as the defense for the Trojans finally.
You see what he's able to do. He gets to the outside, and when he gets to the point of attack, he makes plays.
Third down, McKenzie will step up, and it's intercepted. First down, Trojans at the 12.
And get an easy pick. You see Parker McKenzie eyeing his receiver the entire way. He allowed the nickelback to step right into the passing lane and get an easy pick.
21-7 your score.
So we look at all the highlights from the first half, and Troy finished the half strong, up 21-7 at halftime, and had every earmark of a team that was looking to put this one on ice in the second half.
It would have been nice, man. I tell you, I wish we could have done it. It was certainly on our wish list to make that happen. Go up by 2 scores and take it to the locker room and got something positive to talk about and coach off of, and you know, they come back out and do some things that are really you know, good enough to get back in it and wind up getting on top and winning.
Troy leading 21-7 at halftime. Let's take a look now at the second half highlights.
Chessier. This time they'll run the reverse. How about this play? It's set up beautifully. DeMarcus Thompson out the plays on the sideline. Here's Silvers stepping up. He's got some room to run. He'll have a first down and more. That's what you like to see from your quarterback.
And he took off and made a play. You see the outside of the pocket collapsing, and you see him step up and get the first down once again.
Silvers keeps wanting that long ball. He is going to keep testing it out until he gets it. And finally, Chandler Worthy.
Football, he saw the ball was going to be a little bit short. He stopped and came back to the football, allowing the defenders to run past him. The defenders have to do a better job of locating the football.
Trojans were not going to be denied on the rush. Up the gut for the touchdown. It's Kari Franklin.
You saw the speed by Franklin. He gets the ball, hits the hole, and gets to the end zone. And he's an interesting
yard loss, 2nd and 11 now. This is McKenzie. Nice ball fake down the sideline. Cedric Gilbert, 15 to the 5 and into the end zone. 3rd down and long here. Just overthrown, up in the air and intercepted. Parker switches to the right side. They set up the run perfectly. DeAndre Brown running through a hole. Brown at the 20, 5, touchdown! Dontrell Pruitt looks downfield, and this one's caught at the 47. Big time catch, John Johnson.
And that's a great play by Johnson, beating the linebacker, and a great concentration on his part, making the catch. Great high point in the football. Great job holding on to the football.
The Wildcats of Abilene Christian have taken a 3-point lead. This is Adrian Duncan off the right side. Duncan is into the end zone.
Well, he did mention during that conversation that if we lose this ball game, I know that there'll be conversation out there, you know, for change.
This one caught inside the 5. Loss would definitely sting. Trojans trying to prevent that from happening. One last gasp. In for the score, the final score, Abilene Christian 38, the Troy Trojans 35.
So Troy falls, final score 38-35 against Abilene Christian. In the second half, you had you played Dontrell Pruitt in the first half, and Brandon Silvers went out in the second half, and Pruitt went the entire rest of the way, but both quarterbacks were able to run the offense. Both quarterbacks took care of the football for sure.
We have done a good job with that. We haven't thrown an interception, and we haven't had many turnovers. The turnovers have come off of, I think, off of the fumble route, you know, with the running backs with the ball. But both those guys have done a good job in keeping that in mind. And, you know, we will have an interception. We will have turnovers off the quarterback position. But to this juncture, after 3 games, those guys have done a good job. We've got to do that same good job and generate the offense and get more rushing and get more passing. And, you know, I thought we were headed in the right direction with Brandon Silvers. And you know, he gets injured and comes out, and but Dontrell, to his credit, goes in and does an admirable job. You know, if he is very fast, very quick, and got a powerful arm and can make some things happen. And he just needs to make sure he continues to improve as a runner and take care of the football and throw the ball like he can.
Still to come, we'll talk with cornerbacks coach Al Pogue. Also, our student athlete feature will be Brandon Burks. That comes up in about 5 or 8 minutes on the program. And I know Brandon's a kid that, boy, if you could replicate his work ethic on this football field, it would, and off the football field, it'd be a bonus for this program.
Well, he's from close by, lives right down the road, Daleville, Alabama, and was a heck of a high school player, and we were able to get him to come to Troy, and he has been a productive part of this football program for the last couple of years, and has, you know, lightning speed and quickness, and has a real good measure of physicality running the football. Sometimes he gets to thinking he's got to score on every play, which that's a great running back will try to do that. And when he just needs sometimes just take the northward bound route and break a tackle and score that way.
So stay tuned. We'll have a one-on-one conversation with Brandon Burks in just a little bit on the Trojan Football Report. Here on the Trojan Football Report, Al Pogue is with us, cornerbacks coach in his first year. Coach, welcome in.
Hey, thank you for having me.
I'm interested in this because I know this is you've said before, a real opportunity for you. You've had such a long career in the high school ranks, and you had a chance, Coach Blakeney, when he gave you that call, talk a little bit about your thoughts then and the transition between what you were doing and the challenges here.
You know, I was really excited. You know, this is a real blessing for me, you know, being a former high school coach, like you said. There are a lot of great coaches out there, high school guys, you know, and I'm just lucky to have this opportunity. When Coach Blakeney gave me that call, you know, I can remember I was actually at the national championship game with my family, and you know, and he just kind of put the bug in my ear and asked me, hey, if you're interested, I'd love to talk to you once you get back. He told me go ahead and enjoy the game, and you know, I thought about it. My wife and I, we prayed about it, and you know, I've always been familiar with Troy and this community. I knew it was a great opportunity, and you know, I jumped at it. You know, couldn't say no.
We'll talk about X's and O's in just a moment, but when people talk about Al Pogue professionally, they talk about working with young people. The X's and O's, a lot of people know X's and O's, but so much of this, I would imagine, is coaching kids, coaching people.
And you said it best. You know, I believe football, the coaching profession is the greatest mentoring program that God has ever put together, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of it. I tell my guys every day that it's a blessing for me to have the opportunity to work with them, and you know, I'm always full of energy and enthusiasm because I truly love what I'm doing, and that's helping young people. And you know, we have the greatest job in the world, and again, you know, that's coaching football. Now, again, I'm excited to have this opportunity to be a part of it.
Now let's talk about the X's and O's, the group that you've brought in, the group that you're working with right now. Through 3 games, obviously some stuff to coach up, certainly, always is, but I know you have belief in this group's potential.
I do have some great kids. You know, they're really receptive to the things that I've tried to teach them and what we talk about, and as far as delivering the game plan to them, and week in and week out, we have some great game plans. You know, just a matter of executing those game plans. And I always talk about, you know, knowing your alignment, knowing your assignment, and going out and executing it. And we're there. You know, it's just one of those deals where you got to teach young people. Always talk about finishing, and that's where we are right now. We start fast. We just got to learn how to finish, and once we learn how to do that, I think there are going to be a lot of wins to come.
Coach, even just for the average fan, if you just look onto the field defensively and didn't know a thing about football, you see those cornerbacks, people say they're on an island, that's the old cliche, responsible for so much space, responsible for so many different things, supporting the run, obviously defending the pass. What are the keys? What are the keynotes of coaching cornerbacks in this day and age of college football?
The main thing with these guys is confidence, because I tell them that you got to be very confident when you play that position, the cornerback position, and the main thing is you got to have a short memory. You know, I mean, you know, you got to have a short memory. You also got to have a strong memory. I mean, a strong will. You know, because you're going to get tested, and I tell them, unfortunately, you're going to get beat. But it's all about, you know, how do you come back? How do you respond the next play? Because if you think for 1 minute that the opposing receiver or quarterback is going to feel sorry for you, he's not. So you have to defend, you know, and compete every play. And that's all I want my guys to do. Go out and try to do the things that we teach them throughout the week and compete every play.
When you're going up against a club like Georgia at their place, having had some adversity already as a team, what do you see as the approach to take? What, in your experience working with young kids this much, how do you position this challenge to them?
Yeah, well, I try to constantly remind them that, hey, you know, through all the, you know, the fan, the environment that they're going to be in, and the rowdy fans, and the like I said, the game they experience, you know, they still have to settle down and play football. You know, because when all else is said, that's what it's going to be a tough game that's going to be played against a very good opponent, an SEC opponent, and you should be up for this challenge. You should be up for every challenge, and it's another opportunity for you to go out and establish yourself as one of the top secondaries.
Final question, without a whole large body of work for you to judge on, what's it been like for you to work for Larry Blakeney?
Man, it's been wonderful. You know, he's one of the great bosses that I've worked for. Again, I'm very thankful for the opportunity he's given me. He comes in and he gives us the game plan, the layout of how he wants things done, and he lets us work. You know, and most it's hard to find people like that nowadays. He allows us to work, and it's been a great. I've learned so much from him about working with young people, and then, like I said, it's with him. It's not, the focus is not about the X's and O's. It's about developing these young guys so they can be, you know, husbands, fathers, and you know, and college graduates, because that's the main reason they're here. And of course, we all want to win football games, but I think the things that he instills in them, you know, they go out and they give their best, no matter whether it's on the football field, or in the classroom, in the community.
Proud to have you in the program. Looking forward to great things.
Thank you for having me.
The cornerbacks coach of the Troy Trojans, Al Pogue, joins us here on the Trojan Football Report. Welcome back to the Trojan Football Report. Brandon Burks joins us, sophomore running back out of Daleville, Alabama. We always enjoy getting a player on and kind of getting behind the scenes a little bit. Brandon, we see you on the football field, and we see you at press events like this, and you're always so focused and so mindful of your job and the responsibilities you've got away from the football field. What's it like for you when people see Brandon Burks at class or away from campus? What kind of a guy will they see?
They'll see a quiet guy. You know, I stick to myself. You know, it's not because I elude myself from people. It's just because I have a lot on my mind, a lot to accomplish, and that's just about what I've been going through. You know, my whole life. And when I be with my team and I see the stuff, if we're not doing too good, you know, that's a lot of stuff on my mind too. So I'm really focused on trying to get my team up.
So much of what any Division I student athlete does is dictated by schedules and meetings and practices and time and stuff like that. I'm not sure everybody realizes just how much responsibility there is to be at the highest level of college football and still be a student athlete. What's it like? What's the key?
It's a lot, you know. If you really think about it, athletes have year-round, you know, it's all year-round. And we have classes, meetings, like you said, all day. We probably finish about 9 o'clock at night when everything's all said and done, you know. And if you want it, you just had to deal with it, go with it, you know. And a lot of people, and like they say, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
You're in your sophomore season athletically. Has it been much of a transition from high school and Daleville? You were terrifically successful to now, personally and on the football field. Has it been a real transitional thing?
Yes, sir. Coming from high school where everything's, you know, everything's slower, you know, you can grasp the game much better than coming to college, Division I, where everything moves fast, you know. You had to catch on quick, you know, school, football, coaching, learning, you know, that's how you learn, that's how you get your spot in football in Division I. If you're a good, quick learner, you can get on the field faster.
I think that the running back core as a whole has sort of an interesting dynamic. You got a senior guy that's with there. You got a guy younger than you in Jordan Chun, and you've got you who's the starter. What's it like between you guys? What's the camaraderie like? Three guys who are obviously looking for reps and looking for playing time, but ultimately want this team to be successful.
Oh, it's fun. You know, me and Chun, we get along real great. Corey we do too. We call him the boss because he's older. You know, he's older than us. So, you know, we collide real good. You know, we have that bond, and it's not too much of a competition. You know, like you said, we all want to play, but it's not too much of a competition. We're brothers, you know, at the end of the day. And so whoever starts, it don't matter. We just want to, whoever on the field, we just egg them on to do better.
Now, one final question, and it's probably a difficult one, just to get an idea from you, from the player's perspective, with the adversity so far this season, what's the morale been like? What's the team feeling and going through right now?
You know, we're going through pretty of a slump, you know, because the last couple of games we could have won.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think, you know, sometimes we're quiet, and that's when we need that leader, not too much of the person who's just going to run around, just yell, but that vocal leader to pick us up, you know, and that's what we're looking for. And you know, man, like I say, I just want to lead first, so my team can follow. I'm not a big vocal leader. You know, I'm more of a person that you look at and you know, you get, how can I say it? You know that I'm trying to work hard, so you want to, you know, go off behind it, you know, and that's all I'm trying to do.
Well, leading rusher from last year, back again this year, has been effective so far. We look for great things the rest of the season. Thanks for the time.
Yes, sir.
Sophomore running back Brandon Burks joins us here on the Trojan Football Report. It's our last chance on the show to visit with head coach Larry Blakeney, as the Trojans now, they've got to cinch the belt a little tighter and get ready to go to Athens, Georgia, to take on a Georgia football club they've got to be stinging a little bit as well, Coach. It's a challenge ahead of you.
Well, they're struggling a little bit, but from trying to win the East, and I think they're one game down in the standings and or whatever. And you know, the SEC is a tough league. You know, I've never been to Athens when you didn't need to cinch your belt up, though, and with anybody. And this will be no different, gee whiz, offensively. When they really decide that they want to just pound it, they can pound it. When they want to outskill you, they can outskill you. Defensively, they're very good. You know, it looks like they got a lot of people that can fly around up front and at linebacker and in the secondary. So, you know, we'll have to be simple and have to approach it in a manner to try to move the football and take care of the football, not give them a short field, kick it into their end, you know, try to give them a chance to mess up.
I remember the last time you brought Troy into Georgia, it was 07. Omar Hogelbook threw for 310 yards. Jarrell Jernigan, just a freshman then, still wearing number 82, he caught 10 balls in that game. And speaking of Jarrell, he reached out to you this week.
Jarrell texted me and wanted to try to pick me up and cheer me up, and then he wanted me to tell the players to stick together and keep working hard and fighting. And you know, you got to, sometimes you just have to go back to getting with it. And you know, I've challenged a few people on our team, leadership element of our team. They got to help us, the coaches. They got to help the coaches for the rank and file, get everybody involved and everybody going. I think that's what Jarrell was trying to do.
This week in practice leading up to the Georgia game, the hallmark, the key note that you want to sound with this club is the rallying together.
Oh, no question. You know that basically, by and large, the student athlete, you know, they have social escapes and all that kind of stuff, but they basically they have each other 100% of the time. So that's who they need to turn to in times of trouble, and that's who they need to turn to when things are good. And so we're in a little trouble right here, a troubled time anyhow, with a lot of our people and a lot of our players, and you know, everybody's a little disgruntled. I'm no different, and so we gotta stick together though.
It's 11 o'clock Central Time in the morning, 12 o'clock local time in Athens. It is on the SEC Network and, of course, on the Troy Sports Radio Network. The Troy Trojans versus the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday. Good luck with it, Coach.
Thank you.
The head coach of the Troy Trojans, Larry Blakeney, joins us. We hope that you join us again next week for another edition of the Trojan Football Report.